Welcome to a history of Guildford House. Since 1959, Guildford House has been an art gallery. Today it also houses Guildford's Tourist Information Centre. But the house has a fascinating history as a family home, restaurant and shops. The house was built in 1660 for John Childe, a London lawyer. He lived here with his wife Olive and their 3 children, John, Lawrence and Olive. John Childe was Mayor of Guildford 3 times. In 1736, the house was sold to another lawyer, John Martyr, who also became Mayor of Guildford. The Martyr family lived here until the 1840s. Please join me on a virtual tour of the house. The ornate carving around the door and balcony indicate that this was a fashionable and expensive house. Originally, the door and entrance floor level were higher. They were lowered when the High Street changed from a road of many private houses to one with more shops. Ground floor. We entered the building through the Tourist Information Centre. The room behind the TIC was Mr. Childe's office. The garden room was used as a dining room and overlooked the courtyard. The plaster ceiling would have been very expensive. The oak and pinewood panelling was fashionable. A secret door hid a spiral staircase down to the kitchen. A second concealed door led to a staircase outside into the garden. The external staircase is no longer there, but you can see where it used to be. The leaded windows and decorative catches are original. The oak and elm staircase is typical of the Restoration period, the time around 1660 when Charles II became king. The urns of fruit and flowers were popular designs. The staircase may have been moved here from elsewhere. First floor. On the first floor is the pine room. It is named after the pine panelling on the walls. The room was probably a bedroom for Mr. Childe. The wooden shutters are original and acted like curtains. They were very modern when the house was built. The Powell room, also on the first floor, was the main room to see guests. The Powell room has a balcony overlooking the High Street. The magnificent plaster ceiling shows how wealthy the family was. It was made when the house was built in 1660. The design contains leaves and flowers, including sunflowers, and also cupids, female heads and pineapples, which were a very recent and exotic discovery. The ceiling is one of the finest in southern England and is one of the reasons Guildford House is a listed building. There are further rooms on the top floor. Second floor. The room at the front was probably Mrs. Childe's bedroom. There were bedrooms for the children too. There was a small room off Mrs. Childe's bedroom. We call this the painted closet. The painted walls are meant to look like wood panelling. It dates from 1660. This room may have been used by the mistress of the house to read, study or pray. The rooms at the back on the top floor were probably bedrooms for 2 female servants. Lower ground floor. Downstairs, beneath the dining room, was the kitchen. It is still a cafe today. Although Mrs. Childe had servants, she was probably involved with the cooking. She also made medicines and cosmetics in a still room, a special room perhaps near the kitchen. Mrs. Childe distilled herbs and plants to make the medicines. The cellars may have stored wine and beer. The back of the house looks like it is made from bricks, but they are in fact tiles. The courtyard was part of the garden. The garden was much longer than today. It had stables with a loft above. There was a walled garden and fruit and vegetables would have been grown. The brew house is a brick building in the garden. It was used for brewing beer, baking and washing clothes. There used to be a banqueting house where guests were taken to eat dessert. The porch of the banqueting house now surrounds the entrance to the brew house. Today, the brew house has a craft shop downstairs and a meeting and gallery space upstairs. By the mid-19th century, many of the buildings in the High Street had been turned into shops. This happened to Guildford House. For nearly 30 years, from 1850, the house was a business making brushes and a tannery making wooden items on a lathe. It then amalgamated with Mr. Bull's shop making tents and horses' saddles. From 1914 to 1928, it was a stationer's and bookseller's, Curtis. From 1929, it was a tea room and grill, firstly Lambert's, then Nuttall's. It was a popular place for wedding receptions. In 1959, Guildford Borough Council bought Guildford House and turned it into an art gallery. We hope you enjoyed your virtual tour of Guildford House.